Hello, Collective. Wendy Joy, Love and Light. What do you think about accountability? What do you think about deflection? Do you usually honor accountability by honoring the moves that you make, the intent that you have, the direction that you're going, the mindset that you perceive? Or do you usually push that away and put blame or doubt or cast negativity upon another energy in the form of deflection to maybe relieve you from having to actually reflect and observe your own behavior, your own mindset, your own direction? Or do you just claim what you do, claim what you feel, claim what you say, and claim how you move without hesitancy? I know that that's a difficult decision for most people because it's easier to cast blame, doubt, or to switch the understanding or the comprehension into another energy to allow them to either take blame or provide direction to or from whatever the situation may be. Usually people like to use deflection. They don't like to accept the movements that they've already made, the mindset that they have, or even the direction in which they moved. And usually when you deflect what it is that you do, it's because on some level you know that there's an injustice being done between you and another energy, whether it be an energy that you willingly accept or allow into your environment, or one that migrates your way through the ebb and flow of universal experiences. Or sometimes it's because you don't want to trust in the truth and use a countermeasure in order to shift the blame or to provide doubt or anxiety or irritation even, because maybe you're not happy with the outcome of whatever steps that you chose to make. And sometimes it's easier to hide behind the moves that you made by saying that you took direction from another energy, but that never really gets you far because you're omitting the fact that you chose to do whatever it was that you did, and that you chose to have whatever mindset and whatever position in whatever the circumstance, scenario, or situation may be. To take accountability of your moves and your motives, your intent, and your direction is a very honorable thing to do, where bravery and courageousness are leading you toward the positive route that will lead you to your highest understanding or your highest comprehension, even your higher consciousness. So before you decide that it's okay to cast blame or push a finger toward another or deflect whatever may be approaching you or you might be involved in or with, the best thing that you can do, everyone can do, is to be accountable, to understand that we're all human and that we all make mistakes. We all rely on information, sadly, that we were guided toward when we were very young, that could have designed for us a position that we are trying to hold on to, even if it means that we cast blame on another and not be accountable for our own responses or our own actions. Usually, it ends badly when you deflect, and it usually always ends positively when you accept the accountability and you realize that every step that you take, especially those steps that you're very proud to say you chose, or even reluctant to say you chose, regardless of how the outcome, could perceive itself to be, whether it's immediate or it's an unseen event that happens sometime down the line. But when you're accountable, then you've already honored the side of you that embodies and enhances the trust and the ability within each and every one of us to own what it is that we do, to bravely accept whatever comes our way from the choices that we make. I know that I always accept accountability, and sometimes I've been known to tell on myself, especially if I do something that after I do it, it doesn't seem to rest well within me, my mindset, my energy, or my environment. I will always go back and say, I made a mistake, I did something out of haste, or that was wrong, or that was self-serving, or whatever the reason was. I usually tell on myself, which puts other people in a compromised position because they don't know how to respond. Typically, people don't tell on themselves. They just shift accountability when different scenarios are approached to them from the manner in which they chose to move. I've always known that every lesson that comes is a learning point. It's a progressive tool. It's a widened perception on not only how to handle any future situations that may come your way, but also to be able to navigate your path without having to infringe through any negativity that you might want to deflect away from. Just own it and let the chips fall where they may. You usually get a lot further in life when you admit what you do, and that you say that through reflection and observation and a pivoted mindset, that you now realize that those steps were counterproductive and that you've gathered a lot of value from misstepping or putting faith in the wrong direction or not using all of your inner knowing to support you and your journey, thinking that maybe you might get quicker if you took shortcuts, or who would know if you blamed another. But there's always somebody who knows, and it's more than just you knowing. The universe knows. Your divine spirit team knows. The light essences that are around you know that you could have chosen to be accountable for what it is that you do. However, you decided to deflect. And that usually ends badly. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but somewhere down the line, everything that you deflect or you push away or, approach upon another always comes back, because we live in cycles. And these cycles progress from beginning to end, whether or not you accept accountability or you use deflection as your method of tool. And should you use deflection as your method of tool, then you just might find yourself spiraling through these cycles repeatedly until you realize that accountability will set you free and will teach you the value from the lessons that you refuse to see. So my advice to everyone is to be very accountable for what you do, what you think, who you are, how you move, the direction you go, the intent that you have, and the clarity within your mindset. When you are very accountable, then it leaves no room for anyone to cast a shadow or misread the situation. When you deflect and you blame another, then that leaves lots of room for that energy or other energies to truly take a closer look and maybe even pick apart what it is that you refuse to be accountable for, and then maybe even give it back to you in a manner that you cannot fight. And if you still do, then that digs you deeper down into the deflection that you thought would shield you or separate you from whatever the situation is by casting doubt or blame toward another energy. Now, on the other hand, if you accept accountability, if you say, yes, I know this is what I did, this is what I thought, this is how I moved, and there's room to grow within that because it allows you the opportunity to see exactly all the threads that linked you into the path that you took and the mindset or the direction on the journey that you chose to add life toward. And you just might find that in accountability, your burden is less and your freedom is yours truly to embrace and enhance, because there is freedom in accountability. And when you deflect or you cast blame or doubt, then all that does is keep you wound in a cycle of learning lessons until you're able to recognize what you refuse to see and then apply a positive forward movement to whatever situation, scenario, or circumstance that you could be either in the middle of, entering, or somewhere down the middle of. So my advice is that if it's too easy, then it's not the right way. Everything worth having, including your own value, your own worth, is definitely a work in progress. And you get stronger and more stable in your position when you choose time and time again not to rely on the hidden shadows or the deception or the deflection, but to be truly and totally accountable for every move that you make. Whether you think it's a big move or a little move, every step is a step toward your future. So choose well. And instead of skating by or sliding through, walk boldly and stand tall and believe in you. Even if what you've done or what you thought or even what words you've used may not be so flattering to another energy, but if you're able to accept the accountability, then that puts you in a higher position to be able to see that position before you enter it again and give you an opportunity to choose accountability, to set you free, to provide you the ability to rise through your levels of awareness and ascension and truly walk the path of truth and honesty, not just for you or for your own energies or your own environment, the other energies within your environment, but also it extends out further. Because when people find out that you weren't afraid to own what you do, to choose to stay firm and use your conviction, your intent, and your mindset in order to free you from any chains that may bind you, then you would have truly recognized a piece of your divinity and would be bringing it to the forefront and making that flame brighter and brighter to allow you the ability to not get tripped up, not get cycled back in, and not rely upon the negative energies of deflection or suppression, domination, or avoidance. It gives you the ability to truly step into the place that you were always meant to be. Brave, courageous, true, honorable, with positive intentions. And when you do that, that puts you on a higher realm, giving you more of an ability to vibrate stronger and with more conviction, and set the tone for whatever future you would like to see in your environment, even in the environment of everyone around you. I accept accountability for everything that I do. What I think, what I say, how I move, whether I'm right or wrong or indifferent. I have never shifted blame toward another for something that I have done. I know that that is not so easy for everyone, but I already chose a path a very long time ago where accountability was always going to outweigh deflection, and that free will was always going to be a higher, larger, more vibrant level that we can all stand in, opposed to shrinking down, being dominated, or suppressed. No one really wanted to be dominated or suppressed by anyone, and unfortunately, some of us have only known that, and not many of us have risen to the point where we can be accountable for what it is that we do. And I am sending you the energy of accountability and the ability to step away from deflection or casting doubt or blame toward another energy. But if you do it, you own it. And I'm sending you that energy to give you more confidence and more commitment in the path that you take, in the direction in which you're being guided to go. And like I've always said, if you're being guided with an inviting, warm, welcoming feeling, then that's your spirit team sending you on the road that you've always been meant to walk. Although if those energies come to you and they're the opposite, then that's the negative energies that are trying to deflect, deflate, and stop you from recognizing the higher version of you. My lovely collective, no matter where you are, I am always in your corner, sending you love and light and positivity, and definitely the ability to accept, enhance, and honor your accountability for everything that you do. My lovely collective, no matter where you are, I am always saying that you've got it and your worth is so great that it supersedes whatever you might think is your reality and allows you to be enlightened toward the highest vibration, to live in the light, and to revolve within the truth and the honesty and the honor of every move that you make. My lovely collective, blessed be.